Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. I'm exhausted, but how are you?
Sounds like you are.
I am. I've got my coffee here with 3 shots of espresso.
Oh wow, that sounds good.
I tell you, whew,
Yeah. Well,
body's run down, my back's aching. I'm a mess,
did
but
you
I'm still going.
you compete in this one?
No, thank God. I
Oh,
don't know how I would do it if I competed.
yeah, that'd be rough. A couple people already joined us, so
Awesome. How do I get the sound up on this? It sounds.
I can hear you good.
Oh, maybe it's my speaker. Let's see. No, my speaker's on. And I lost you.
Hmm.
There you are. Okay.
I'm checking Lisa and Mary.
Yeah, because I could hear,
Hmm.
but I can't hear well. So here.
You see the chat on the side as well. Hey, everybody
No.
that's joining. There's a little chat. It's on. If you hover on the bottom, yeah, you can do that down there.
Okay. I see it. Webinar chat.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Everybody, if you see on this, you can type in the chat and say, hey, if you'd like, let us know where you're joining us from.
Now I can hear you well, Grant. What you have there? A microphone?
I know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now I put my cell phone off because I'm getting texts and messages for training appointments for next weekend's show.
Oh, yeah.
Don't want that.
Well, I have some questions. Christy from Philly. Mary's from Pennsylvania as well.
Hello, ladies.
Yeah, to those of you that are joining, if you have specific questions, feel free to go ahead and type them, and I'll just kind of go through an order. I have some that some people emailed as well, Taryn, so I can riddle those off as we need them. I'll give a couple more minutes for people to join up here as well. And it is going to be recorded, so for those of you that miss something, we'll send it out after.
Awesome.
Yeah. I like your shine back there. Is that for Paradise?
Yep. Big old banner I had set up yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I got it yet. I had it made. I have an original banner that I have, but it's a pain in the butt to find something to attach it to. So I finally, you know what, I'm going to get me a retractable banner.
Yeah.
Love it. The guy dropped it off yesterday at the show, and I'm like, just in time.
Yeah. Those are much easier. The one that you scroll up basically and connect to the top.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So much easier.
The best $137 I ever spent.
Yeah.
The funny thing is I spent like $90 on the other one, but it wasn't retractables. I had to find a place to stick it on. It's like,
Yeah, that can be challenging, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Jennifer joined us. I know she's from Florida.
Ooh,
hey, Jennifer. Florida. And somebody else joined. I can't tell. It's just an ID. So if you just joined, feel free to introduce yourself. If you have any questions, you can type them in and we'll ask them to Taryn to make sure she can give you the best answer she can.
All right. 1 second.
Go ahead.
I don't need my dog and cat coming in here running around havoc like they do.
Typing for you?
Yeah. I actually saw my cat do that on my computer last night, and I was like, what are you doing? She's like looking at the computer because she's all fascinated with things that move.
Yeah.
She started pressing the keys. I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah, they'll do that for sure, anything that moves.
Hi, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy. All right, well, we can if you have any questions and if we talk about anything, just type in the chat. There's a little chat on the side. You can also do a little hand raise thing if you want. We just want to get answers to all your questions. I have some questions that people sent in, Taryn, so we can kind of start with those. If you have anything you want to talk about, from the get-go, kind of for beginners in competition tanning, feel free to.
Okay.
So if you want to, I'll kind of open the floor. Feel free to kind of start it off and talk a little bit about, maybe give some background, just in case those that I'm sure most everybody knows you, but just so they can know a little bit more about you.
Well, my name is Taryn, and I've been tanning since 2005. Started Paradise Airbrush Tanning. And back then, I started competing back in like 2011 and started doing competition tanning since then too as well. It was a friend of mine who got me into the competition world, but in Southern California, I saw that there was a need for competition tans in shows because everywhere I went to competitions, it's like tans were orange. And so, of course, everybody, makes fun of the competitors, about their orange tans. And so I decided to get more into the competition world and decided, okay, well, let me go ahead and, try to make my own formula, which I did. And I started off with one show, and then I started networking with a lot of people, which is how I got into the competition world. It's all about networking, and a lot of times, unfortunately, it's who you know too as well,
Sure.
But I'm like a social butterfly, so I talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And now, as of now, I can say that I am tanning for every organization in Southern California except for 2, which is Venice Beach, Muscle Beach, and the NPC. The NPC, I probably will never tan for the NPC in Southern California because 1, it's monopolized, and 2, they have the tan masters on there that are contracted for like forever.
Oh, okay. So one of those things, you either wait out or just kind of accept the fact that one might not work out. Yeah.
But I can guarantee, though, if I ever got into the NPC, I can guarantee the competitors would be so happy because yesterday I tanned for a show and, oh my God, the things I've heard about NPC, and I was like, okay, you can stop right there.
Yeah, right.
It's shocking.
Yeah, I'm sure. And actually, Christy did ask the question, and you kind of touched on it there about how do you break into the area. You did mention the networking, who obviously does play a role in everything in life, as we all know. But
that's true.
Do you have any other tips or pointers for people that are just trying to break into it?
The first thing you want to do is you're throwing yourself into the wolves if you're a spray tanner, never done competition tans, or if you've done a few here and there. You never want to go work. You never want to fake it till you make it, because if you fake it till you make it, which I've seen people do, you better be delivering, because the promoter's going to be really upset. And I've seen that happen before. The best thing to do is get some training in. Do competition training. Find out the techniques. Yes, it's kind of like regular spray tanning, but there's more to it. You have to know what to do if something happens to a competitor's tan. For instance, what was it? Last week, I tanned a competitor, and well, she had tinea vesicolor.
Yeah.
Sprayed her back, and all of a sudden these dark spots came out. I'm like, oh God, help me. So luckily, I had some Dermafix Body Fix concealer, and I was able to conceal that area and spray tan over it. It actually hid those spots. But I had to tell her, you either do one of 2 things. You go get some Selsun Blue and put it on for 4 days, or you go to the doctor and get a topical ointment,
Sure.
and cure it for good. Hopefully for good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to know if something happens like that. Now, that was last week. That was the first time that happened to me. That was the first time that happened to me ever in my years of competition tanning. But you have to know what to expect, what can happen.
Yeah, you have to be prepared. Regular tanning as well, but yeah, tinea versicolor is a challenging thing. The way
it is.
Yeah,
it is, because when you spray on top of that, it's like all of a sudden the spots get darker, and well, when you go on stage, you want to look perfect. Your tan wants to look smooth. you want, I mean, you don't want any splatches. And so for a girl to do a back pose on, all of a sudden judges see tanning Vasca color on there, they could be like, okay, is that tanning? Is that the tan or is that her skin?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you definitely have to know. Obviously, that'll affect the competition, the way they turn out for the judges, I'm sure. So you got to make it look as perfect as possible.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely. And somebody asked a good question here about when people show up with a fierce farmer's tan. I'm sure you get people all the time with different tans and things like that. So
Actually, yesterday I got one with a sunburn and he was peeling. I was like, oh shoot. Good thing to do when you're when you're doing competition tans. And let me tell you this. Okay, I'm a competitor. I try on peak week. I know our minds go crazy and we forget a lot of things. Believe me, on peak week when I did regular spray tans at a client's house, I left my equipment at her house and I was like, oh shoot. But on peak week, a lot of competitors, they don't follow instructions. You can be so clear on giving them instructions, and even then they won't follow them. For instance, one guy, he ended up getting the sunburn. I told him stay away from the sun, but he decided he wanted to get that base tan, and he ended up getting the sunburn.
Sure.
When I tanned him on Friday, he was peeling on his shoulders, and I was like, okay, so good rule of thumb: keep slough wipes. Slough wipes. On slough wipes, you have one side that is rough, and then the other side that is smooth. So what I did on Friday before I tanned him, I got the slough wipes, kind of exfoliated that area to get the peeling off, and then I went ahead and tanned his shoulders, and it came out fine.
Hey, Taryn, I'm not sure if you can hear me. We can't hear you right now. Can y'all still hear me? Yeah, we just let me try to mute you and unmute you. Say something, Taryn. Maybe try to reboot or something like that. I'm not sure. Or try leaving the meeting and coming back to it. Give us 1 second, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulty. Taryn, just try to leave. Just try to leave the meeting and then come back. All right, everybody. Sorry about that. She will be right back. Yeah, Christy, I'll make sure she answers that or follows up on the slough wipes. That was definitely a good tip for people with the sunburn. So we'll make sure that she touches on that as soon as she gets back. Can you hear me, Taryn? Hey, Krista, thanks for joining us. We're temporarily, let's see, having some technical difficulties, but we're going to fix it here.
There you are.
There we go.
I'm on my cell phone now.
Sorry, everybody. Thanks for hanging in there. Yeah, so I lost you for some reason at the point where you're talking about the slough wipes, and Christy was really interested in hearing how you dealt with that guy that had the sunburn.
It was a challenge for me because I had to get the slough wipes and I had to exfoliate the sunburn area where it was peeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to gently do that on Friday and Saturday. On Friday, what he did on Friday, he did all the proper prep, exfoliate the skin, don't wear any lotions, cologne, what have you, so he did everything properly. He just had a sunburn that I had to kind of diminish. And the slough wipes really, really work. But when it comes to sunburns, you don't know what other areas may peel the next day. I only dealt with what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so the following day on Saturday, when he rinsed off his tan, he came to me and I saw other areas peeling. So I had to exfoliate those areas, but I had to gently do it because I didn't want to mess up his previous tan.
Right.
And so I went ahead and exfoliated that area and then tanned over it. It worked pretty well. For the most part, it hid a lot.
Right. So the slough. So you said one side of the slough wipes is rougher and the other side is smooth.
Yes, on the slough wipe, one side is rough, and that's the side I'm going to exfoliate with, and the other side is smooth.
Got it. Perfect. Let me see. I think we had a question here. Somebody was asking. Oh, that was the farmer's tan. Somebody was asking, let's see. Mary asked if you have your own product, which yes, she does. Yeah, Mary was asking if you had your own solution. She said she should probably know this, but does she have her own solution? Yeah, Taryn does. Paradise Airbrush Tanning is her website, and she has her own product through that.
Airbrush Tanning, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, it's Paradise Airbrush Tanning, and what my competition to solutions it's called Power Comp.
Power Comp, perfect. Yeah, so for those of you that are on the webinar here, if you have questions like Mary, if you have questions about the product, we can connect you with Taryn later, and she can definitely give you the information for her Power Comp solution. Next question is coming from the Spray Tan Studio, and they're wondering, how do you blend the tan lines? If they're sunburn, obviously use the slough wipes, but if it's an actual, legit farmer's tan like I have right now, how do you blend those tan lines?
Normally, like you would do with a regular spray tan, you would, go and kind of work on the tan line area first. What I do is, for tan lines, in order to decrease the flow, you want to turn your gun down to decrease the flow. But what I do is I tap on my gun. I use the Aura Allure gun, and so
right.
I kind of do taps with the trigger. I don't press it all the way. And so when I do my little taps, I get really, really close to the tan line area, or the line that needs to be, blended in. And then I'll go ahead and get a roller and kind of roll over it. And it works really, really well. For the rollers, you can get a roller at Home Depot. I someone said Lowe's has them, but I haven't been to Lowe's actually in a long time. But Home Depot, you get the mini woven roller, and that actually is the best. I prefer that over the foam rollers because the foam rollers, I've I've tried it before and it doesn't work for me. I saw streaks on it, and it's like, nah, I don't want to take a chance. I'd
Hmm.
rather use something that I know that's going to work and I have confidence in instead of a foam roller where it can streak.
So so you spray them with the gun and then roll it with the foam roller? Is that what you do?
Yes,
Okay.
but the roller you want to do gently though.
Right, right. Probably you get a roller like that at an art store as well, maybe.
Um, you can. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure art store. Yeah, no, I think art stores will
Yeah,
have a roller.
right. Yeah, it probably depends on the kind of
Arts.
yeah, it probably depends on the kind of roller. You said it's something specific. Is that's also something you could probably link up to people afterwards just to kind of give them advice. I'm sure you can look it up online with Home Depot and just send us the link to it. And
Yes.
I can email out all these links to everybody. So, you know, for the solution, for anything that's mentioned, the slough wipes, the rollers and stuff like that, I'll get those links from Taryn and email those out afterwards. Um,
Okay.
we also had a question here. What do you do if after Friday and Saturday, the tans are not dark enough?
Okay, I'm assuming they're tanning on Thursday.
Yeah, they didn't specify, but just I guess if they're, I guess maybe about to do the show, maybe the day before, and you don't feel they're dark enough, what do you do in that case?
Go ahead and tan them again. Do another coat on them until you see them get dark. What solution are they using?
Yeah, I don't know what solution were you using when you're spray tan studio? I'm not sure. South Seas.
South Seas. Okay, I've tried South Seas before, and it was a little while ago, and it wasn't dark enough, in my opinion. It's a nice color, don't get me wrong, and it smells great. It's just it's not dark enough for competition solution. Um, a tanning solution needs to be dark on competitors because, for instance, if I'm a judge, and actually this is the way I judge too, if I see two competitors, one bikini competitor, let's say there's two bikini competitors on stage, and one bikini competitor is, I mean, her tan is like the best, but her physique can, needs a little work. And then the other bikini competitor, her tan's very, very light, but her physique, her posing is on point. Well, I'm going to go ahead and give points, high points, to the girl that has the light tan, but has her physique on point and her posing on points. That's the way I judge.
Gotcha.
People
Gotcha.
actually asked about that too.
Right. And somebody also asked for a competition tan. What is a good DHA level to use for the base tans?
As long as you get it, you could use pretty much any. I mean, as long as they get some type of base, you're okay. You could use a 9% DHA. You could use a 10% DHA. A lot of people think that they need to use a high percentage of DHA, like a 16% and up. That is not true. For my base tan, I use a 9%.
Okay, so
But
it doesn't really matter. They just need a solid base tan, basically. Okay. Okay. They also asked, maybe this one will be a little unbiased. Besides your own power comp solution, are there any other comp solutions that you would recommend?
liquid sun rays, that one's a good one. You have to be careful about that one because that one tends to turn people on the muddy side. So you got to be careful with that one. Now, here's a little trick that you guys can learn, which I've tested out back in the days because I'm not one for Jantana because Jantana brings out orange and makes people look orange or red. Pro-Tan makes people look green. But if you mix Jantana and Pro-Tan together, the color is actually nice. you kind of, for some reason, the Pro Tan actually kind of takes away the orange and the red from Gentana, kind of neutralizes it. So that's a little trick that you guys can do for competition tanning. But on the market, liquid sun rays, I would
Okay.
say it's nice and dark. Norvale blackout's pretty good too, but a lot of times, people are saying they have to tan on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Me as a competitor, I don't have time to be doing that.
Yeah. You got a lot of other things to focus on. So typically
Yeah,
is yours just 2 days then? Do you just meet with them for 2 days?
2 days. It actually could be for one day too.
Okay.
Yesterday we've had a lot of people. Like I've tanned. Let's see. On Friday we've tanned quite a few people on Friday night, and then on Saturday, yesterday, we had a lot of people that just showed up for a tan, and so we tanned them just on Saturday, yesterday. And so what we do is we just go ahead and tan them and make them as dark as possible. How we do it is, and my technique, how I do it is, I tan them with a light coat. So on Saturday, yesterday, I tan them with a very light coat, and then I dried them, and then I went ahead and tanned them again with a heavier coat.
Gotcha.
I do 2 sprays.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. You probably probably need to. So somebody actually said that a local person said that they used liquid sun rays. It looks like a competitor, so that makes sense. You said that was a good one.
Yeah, liquid sun rays is a good one.
Yeah. And when you do multiple coats, how long do you wait and let it dry in between? Mary asked this.
For when I do multiple coats, I usually just do like 2 coats per person. That's what I did yesterday. Yesterday, I used 2 ounces, and so I personally I dry them completely, and then I ask the competitor, okay, how does their body feel? Does the body feel sticky? Feels wet? And the competitor will usually tell you if they feel dry or sticky or what have you.
Sure.
But until they do that, if they say, no, I feel completely dry, then you can go ahead and go ahead and do the other coats as well.
So you do 2 coats with the Power Comp solution?
Yes.
No rinse in between?
No rinse.
Okay. Somebody asked if they rinsed, and it didn't sound like they did.
Oh,
So
yeah, no, no. Okay. I see what you're saying. I misunderstood that question. No, okay. For power comp, what I do is I spray them with 2 coats, 2 ounces on Friday. On Saturday, they sleep with it on. I actually like to tan them early in the morning because that way they have the whole day for the tan to process. And then at night, they can go ahead and rinse off and don't have to worry about them ruining their tan. But if I tan them like at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, then I have them go ahead and sleep with the tan on. And here's one thing, I'm not sure who's telling competitors to do this, but there are salons here in Southern California that are telling competitors to sleep naked. You absolutely do not want to do that. The reason being is because, one, when they sleep on the sheets, the crinkle of the sheets will make marks on their back.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before. One girl actually, she went ahead and I told her my instructions for competitors: sleep in long loose pants and a t-shirt top or long sleeves t-shirt top to bed.
Yeah.
Girl
Yeah.
slept with her tank top on, and she had her hand on top of her chest because she had a low tank top. And in the morning time when she rinsed off, she had a handprint there.
We've seen that all too many times, even with regular spray tans.
Yeah, it was interesting. So it's like, okay.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, I have them do a rinse in between because, one, DHA, the longer you leave a DHA on, it's going to dry out the skin. I want to prevent that. I want to prevent their tan from having any errors on it, any marks, any point of getting that crocodile skin look. So I have them rinse in between. So on Friday, I tan them. Saturday morning, they rinse with cool water, no soap. They help the bronzers. They can, use their hand to help the bronzers come off, because if they leave any of those bronzers on, it will look on the streaky side. And then on Saturday, I go ahead and tan them again.
Gotcha. Somebody asked, is there such thing as too many coats for the competition? That's what it looks like they're asking here.
Yes. One show I tanned for, one show that I tanned for, there was a competitor I saw, I didn't tan him, but it looked like whoever did tan him used way too many coats. And so he looked really blotchy. And I actually had one of the judges come to me and ask me if I tanned him. And I said, absolutely not. And the judge was like, okay, I didn't think so. But whoever tanned him used too many coats, they made him really, really, way too dark. And it actually washed him out from the lighting. So it's like, you want him to be dark, but you don't want him to be too dark from the lighting.
Gotcha. So another question here, this is related to South Seas. They said that they have a lot of South Seas, that they have to use. They're saying, can they use that as the base and then top coat with something like liquid sun rays to make sure that they get them dark enough? Okay.
They can.
Okay, perfect. Next question. Let me see. Krista said 2 sprays at the same session or next day. I think you said 1 Friday, 1 Saturday typically is how you do it.
2 sprays. 2 coats. Basically, I use 2 ounces. So each session. Friday, I spray 2 ounces, which is 2 coats. And on Saturday, I spray with 2 ounces, which is another 2 coats. Okay. So I'm spraying with 4 ounces altogether.
Gotcha.
Now, some competitors don't even need all that. It's like, for instance, African Americans. They don't need to be tan on Friday or Saturday. They could be tan on the day of the show, and that's it.
Yeah. So the darker the natural skin tone, the less, obviously. Yeah. Definitely. Somebody asked, can you use powder on competition day? I'm assuming to keep the tackiness or stickiness down, or is that something you try to? Okay.
Yeah. What I do is, yesterday I was using powder, and I was using powder like underneath their underarms, the creases of the back of their knee. A lot of competitors were loving the part that they had powder underneath their underarms, because a lot of times that's where they sweat. Sometimes for women, I went ahead and used a light powder in between the breast parts.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time, and even the bodybuilders too, because a lot of times when they sweat, it's right down the middle.
Sure. Yeah, that's the most common area for sure, just based off regular tanning. So Mary asked, she said that she had spray tanned somebody, an African-American person that says that he needs to be darker, and she uses the 3-day Norvell process. So it sounds like the one that Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think you mentioned that too, Taryn.
Okay. Yeah. Hold on one sec. Let's see. I'm trying to get on my computer here. Okay. For the Norvell? Now, yeah. They're using Norvell?
Yeah, they said they use a 3-day Norvell process, and it was an African-American guy that says that he needed to be darker.
Oh, because I've seen on a Facebook forum, I think it was a spray tan artist, somebody posted a picture of a competitor. I guess I'm assuming she was a bikini competitor, and she was pretty dark. Off stage, her tan looked good. I don't know what she looked like on stage, though, because when on stage is a totally different thing sometimes. But if he needed to go darker, then 1, her gun settings may not be turned up all the way, or 2, she may need to give him another coat. But sometimes competitors, they don't think they're dark enough when they're actually dark enough.
Sure.
Had that happen before.
Yeah. Or would that be something where you could possibly top it off with something like the Power Comp or Liquid Sun Rays maybe on top of that? I don't know as much about the depth of the color, so that may help.
You could do that. You could totally do that. If they're using Norvell Blackout, Liquid Sun Rays would definitely go ahead and be like the top coat for them. That would get them darker, or Power Comp would also get them darker too as well. Or, if they want to, try to use another coat of Norvell, they can do that too.
Sure.
But if Norvell's not getting them dark enough, then they probably want to go ahead and use something a little darker.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Hopefully that helped, Mary. If you have any more questions regarding that, maybe Taryn can talk to you a little bit more detail one-on-one, just to kind of make sure she answered that completely for you. Somebody asked about, they said they use California Tans comp spray called Rev'd. Any thoughts on that?
That one, I've tried it before, the California tan, and it looked like, kind of reminded me of Jantana in a way. It's just the color, the way it works, you know? So it tells me that it can make a competitor, it can bring out orange. I mean, it can make a competitor look a little on the orange side from what I've seen. But I mean, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't bad or anything, but
Right.
it did tell me that it has a chance, it can actually make a competitor look orange.
Gotcha.
So if you use a tanning solution, competition tanning solution, and you think that it can make somebody look orange, best advice I would say is stay away from it, because if it can make somebody look orange, it's going to make other people look orange as well.
Yeah, good advice. Kind of sounds like you pretty much have to test and figure out something good, or else ask someone like yourself that's used a ton of different products and figure out what's the best options and kind of pick a couple and go with them.
Absolutely. And that's what I did. I went ahead and, you know, used all kinds of whatever, you know, competition tans on the market, you know, to test them out and see what they can do, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Krista asked, when you do the top coat, do you just use bronzer, or is it still like the power comp or an actual competition solution going on top?
It's still the power comp. I use power comp on both days.
So you're using the same product both times?
Yes, I'm using the same product both times, so that way I can just get double the darkness. Glaze, I do glaze.
Okay. Yeah, somebody just asked about the glaze.
Yes, banana boat. Do not use Pam. Pam actually makes the tan runny. I've seen that yesterday. Somebody was using Pam, and I was walking by to the where the audience was, and so I saw somebody. I guess he was a coach of the competitor, and he was spraying the competitor with Pam, and then he was getting his hands and like literally patting it in the competitor on the competitor. And so I was seeing like little handprints all over, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" That's why, you know, it's always best to use the roller.
Yeah. Do you use? So somebody said, do you glaze with a gun, or do you do that different?
I just do it with the bottle. You can use a gun. You could definitely use glaze with a gun, and it probably, you know, I've tried it before, and it's pretty good. You know, you just gotta know how much glaze to spray. You don't want to spray too much glaze on a competitor, because if you do, the judges don't like that. They think that the competitors are going to go slipping down the stage like on a slip and slide. You want to give them a light glaze, especially if, you know, for bodybuilders. Bodybuilders, I always suggest bodybuilders get a glaze. Figure girls get a glaze. Men's physique get a glaze. You know, bikini, it's optional. Some bikini girls don't do it. Some bikini girls don't, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody asked, do you add any bronzing drops to the solution, or is it just normal how it is? Obviously, it's probably going to vary, I'm assuming, based on the actual product itself.
Well, on Power Comp, when I create it, I use a lot of bronzers on it. So I don't need to use any bronzing drops. But if you want to add bronzing drops to, like, let's say Norvell, let's say Protan, Jantana, you can definitely do that. The bronzing drops will actually help bring down that orange look and the red look from Jantana.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I did have this question. Somebody emailed this in, and then somebody was also asking, looks like Wendy's asking, is the bikini color different than bodybuilding? And somebody also asked the different levels between bikini, figure, physique, and bodybuilding. You know, is there a vast difference between that, or is it pretty similar for you?
It's similar. It's similar. Somebody said, well, in different states it's different, but I've actually judged in different states, and I've talked to the president about that. And the reason being is because it was brought up to my attention from competitors and also other spray tan companies. And the president said he likes to see them, different presidents of organizations, they said that we like to see them dark. Same thing, the judges said that too. I like to see them dark. and that's for all categories.
Okay.
Yesterday, the judges said the tans were, for some reason, judges, they know who my tans are, whose tans are mine because of the consistencies and the darkness of the tans. And one judge actually told me, I guess one bikini girl, I didn't even tan her, but one bikini girl, the judge said, can you tan her? Because she's not dark enough. Okay. I said, how dark do you want her to be? And they said, really dark. Okay. She was a white girl, she was pretty pale, and so I tanned her dark, and I told the judge, I said, is this because you want her to be consistent with the bikini girls that I tanned because they're dark, or you just want them dark? So no, I just want them dark.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I don't think it's, when I hear people say, it's different in different states, I want to disagree on that one because I've heard it from the president's mouth and I've heard it from other judges that they want the competitors dark.
Sure. So it doesn't matter bikini, figure, physique, bodybuilding. It sounds like it's pretty much all the same.
Correct.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Tiffany was asking, if you get a sponsor or competition, do the competitors still pay for their tans, or since you're a sponsor, are you doing it for free?
A sponsor, if I'm the sponsor tanner for a show?
Mm-hmm.
No, unfortunately, we have to pay the competitors. So what we do for sponsors, when I'm the sponsor tanner for a show, I have to pay $500 to be the tanner, or if it's a big show like the Worlds I did last year, I had to pay $1,500 to be the sponsor tanner. But pick your shows if you have to pay, because some shows have very little competitors, some shows have a lot of competitors. The shows that have a lot of competitors, you can easily make your money back.
Gotcha. So you're kind of putting out the money, but you're going to guaranteeing that you're going to get it back.
Correct.
No. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was saying this show I did yesterday, I made my money back.
Okay.
The show previous, I definitely made my money back. I mean, per show, depending on how big the show is, you can make almost 10 grand on a show.
Okay. So you're paying, $500-ish to get in as a sponsored tanner, and then you're making the money back from the actual competitors for the tans.
Correct.
Perfect.
And yeah, the competitors pay you.
Right. So Tiffany, it sounds like that answers your question. She was pretty much just clarifying that. So that's good to hear. Somebody asked something particular to the power comp solution. What they were asking what the DHA level was for that particular solution.
That one's 9%.
Okay.
But it has a lot of bronzers in it.
Okay. So that's basically what sets it apart from a regular solution then, is just the amount of bronzers that are in there.
Correct.
Gotcha. Somebody had a question about, let me see here. Do you spray heavier on comp tans? No, you said 2 ounces, so it sounds like that's about the same as regular tan, correct?
Yeah, 2 ounces per application. So my technique is you want to go, even on regular tans, go light the first time, go a light coat. Like if you're tanning them on Friday, tan them with the first coat light, dry completely, and then tan them with a heavier coat. I do that for my regular spray tans and for competition spray tans.
Got it. So hopefully that answers your question there. Somebody had a question about the faces, hands, and feet, because they said with the females versus the males, they say obviously the females are going to wear makeup and they can put some color on their face, but for the males, do you spray the same on the male's face as the body to make it even?
Yes. As judges, the face must be tanned, because when a competitor walks on stage and if their face is light and their body is tan, it's like you're seeing like a floating head.
Yeah, that probably looks pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a total distraction. It's what it is. And so everything needs to be tan. The face, the hands, the feet need to be tan.
So for the females then, are you spraying their faces as well, or is it lighter since they're going to probably put on makeup?
On females, I go ahead and tan their face lightly on Friday only. I don't tan faces on Friday, or on Saturday at all. Because on Saturday, they're going to get their makeup done and what have you. And so Now, when you get a female competitor, let's say you're a sponsor tanner for a show and you tan a girl on Friday, that female competitor may ask you, okay, well, what time can I get my makeup done? Can I get it done before the tan or after the tan? The competitor can get she can get her spray tan done, or I'm sorry, she can get her spray tan done anytime and her makeup anytime. She can get her makeup done before the tan or after the tan. If she has a good makeup artist, that makeup artist is going to match her face makeup to her tan perfectly.
Okay, that's a very good point there. That makes perfect sense.
Yes. When a competitor asks, if you ladies, if you're tanning female competitors, a lot of times female competitors don't know what makeup foundation to use. Tell them to use very, very dark foundation.
Okay.
Because a lot of times if their face is light, the judges kind of dock off of that too as well.
Okay, so dark foundation on top for the actual makeup will help that.
Yes.
Somebody was asking, with the actual tanning process, do you actually recommend contouring, or is it just like a normal tan, since obviously they're pretty defined, I'm sure?
If you have time, feel free to have fun and contour. I don't charge for like a mini contour, but if you're the sponsor tanner for a show and you're not going to have time to do any contouring if you're the sponsor tanner, because you have to tan them and get them done. And if you have to tan them and get them done in 6 minutes, under 10 minutes, 6 minutes preferably, because you're going to have a line of competitors. So you have to have them undress, get them in the tent, tan them, dry them completely, and then have them dressed again, and then have them to have the next competitor.
Sure.
It's a hard job, trust me.
Yeah, so it's more like a factory getting them in and out versus versus the detail center. Yeah.
Definitely. I think
Sure.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Somebody was asking, for a show like you're doing. I'm like, one. I guess they're saying how many people are on your team, but I guess it kind of depends on the size of the show. So you kind of want to give us do you have a rule of thumb, like if there's going to be 50 competitors, I need this many people?
I have 7 people on my team. So right now, let's see. Last Saturday, I had my makeup artist, Maggie. She's also my other tanner as well, but the show hired her for just makeup only, so that made me lose a tanner. And I had my husband spray tanning competitors last Saturday, and I had my other girl, Tiffany, tanning competitors. And the reason being is because last year at that same show, the WNBF, we had 3 tanners and it worked out pretty fine. And so this year, the promoter said that the show's going to grow. He said the show has grown, so you're going to get more. And so I said, okay, well, let's try to do it with 3 tanners. And we were fine with that. We were fine. Yesterday we had, what did we have? Yesterday we had 2 tanners because we knew that this show was going to be a little bit smaller. And
Okay.
so we had 2 tanners, and my husband was signing them in.
Okay, so they kind of went a little bit further. So how many people does one person handle on average then per show?
Does one person, let's see, what did I do? It all depends. How many people are you tanning? Like, for instance, I tanned 40 competitors on Friday night and about a little over 40 on, was it Saturday?
Okay,
That
so
was for the last show. The last show was pretty big.
Okay,
Not yesterday, but the other show. That was pretty big.
A team of 3 can handle 100 competitors, it sounds like.
Make it a team of 4.
Okay, just to be safe.
Yeah, team of 4. Because, well, from what my experience is, some promoters are really, really strict. Like, for instance, I feel that the IMBF is strict. That show goes pretty fast, and so therefore the tanners have to be really fast. We have to be like on point. But we were actually thrown off because the promoter gave us the call sheet for the categories to go on stage. And so how we do it is we look at the call sheet and we say, okay, bodybuilders are going on stage first, fit bodies going on second, and then so forth. On show day, they changed the category on us, and I was like, uh-oh. So we had to tell the competitors, we have a little change here. We have to tan according to this categories. Of course, we have to tan first according to these categories who are going on stage first.
Okay.
Sometimes that happens, but the thing is, as a sponsor spray tanner, you want to communicate with the expediter. Definitely communicate with the expediter, communicate with the promoter, because sometimes you won't get all the information that you need. You have to go search for it.
Okay. So a couple questions then from that, and I guess you can get as detailed as you want about it. One, do people schedule their tans like a normal session would, or do you just have like a range of time and say show up between these times? And secondly, Christy was asking, what do you charge per tan for a competition, like when you're sponsoring an event such as the one you did yesterday or the week before?
Okay, for the first question, when we tan people, I go ahead and take appointments on Fridays. So it doesn't matter what category they're in. I'll go ahead and tan according to appointments on Fridays. And then on Saturday, I tell the competitors we have to tan according to who goes on stage first. And that's just the way, I mean, if a competitor doesn't like it, there's nothing we can do about it, because that's the way we have to do it, because it's not fair for us to tan bikini first when bodybuilders got to go on stage first, you know? So yeah, on Saturdays, I don't take appointments. I have all the competitors come to me at a certain time. They all sign in, regardless of what category they are in. And then I go ahead and call their names out according to according to the bodybuilders. I'll call out all the bodybuilders first, and then all the men's physique second, and then so forth.
Okay. So
That's how I do it. Hmm?
okay. So they're literally just all sitting there kind of waiting their turns.
Some of them are. Usually some people will say, well, what time do you think you'll tan the bikini competitors? And I can't give them a time until I get there. And the reason being is because there's a lot of people, you know, that just show up and tan Saturday. I don't see them on Saturday. I don't see them on Friday. I see them on Saturday. You know, people, just the random walk-ins will say, okay, I need a spray tan. Okay. So the class may be bigger. And so that's when I can give them a time on Saturday when I get there, a little more or less.
Gotcha.
I do an estimate. And so they get it. They understand, though, for bikini. I mean, all the classes, they understand.
Sure, sure. And somebody also asked, have you always tanned inside the venue, or have you ever tanned at another location other than the venue itself?
Well, what I do is, okay, here's one thing I've learned. Some promoters say, okay, you might want to rent a hotel room to tan in. Guess what? It's illegal to do that. It's illegal to rent a hotel room and tan in a hotel room, because one, you are you are doing business in an established business. So the hotel manager could actually fine you and kick you out, or just kick you out. So you got to be aware of that. A lot of promoters don't think so, but I have to explain that to promoters. And the reason why it happened to me, actually.
Okay. So from personal experience, Taryn saying, don't spray at the hotel, please spray at the venue.
Yeah, well, no. If you spray at a hotel, like for competitions, if they have a host hotel, the host hotel will have a meeting room that you can rent. I
Okay.
rent a meeting room. Yeah, I rent a meeting room. And so every competition I do, I'll rent a meeting room, and it's about $350 to rent the meeting room, you know, but it's empty. I like it. And how we do it is we go into that meeting room, we tape up the walls from the ceiling to the bottom with painter's tape. We put drop cloths all over the floor. We have our extraction fans, and we're covering up everything before we spray. And then we have the tents on there.
Okay.
And we tell the housekeeper of the meeting room, you know, blast up the AC.
Okay.
But yeah, one time when I sprayed in the hotel room, they actually kicked me out.
Okay.
Luckily, I was done spraying the last competitor.
So spraying in the meeting room's okay, just not the actual hotel room itself.
Correct. And it's all because you're doing business in an established business. That's why.
That makes sense. I had a couple questions. Somebody just asked this now. Somebody asked in advance about the glaze. They were asking particularly here about how much time is there between their last spray and glaze and when they go on stage.
Well, what I do is when I tan, okay, so for instance, I tanned the bodybuilders yesterday about 6:30 in the morning. I tan the bodybuilders, and the show didn't start till like 10. So at 10 o'clock, at 10:30, the bodybuilders would have gone on stage. And so I told the bodybuilders, come back around 9:30 after you pump up, come back around 9:30, 9:45, and go ahead and get glazed. And that's what they did. Same thing for the bikini class. I told the bikini class, okay, the category that's before you is figure. So what you want to do is while figure is on stage, that's the time you want to come back for your touch-ups if you need it, or if you just need glazing, come back for the glazing.
Okay.
But to do glazing, you got to make sure the tan's dry.
Okay. Yeah, somebody was also asking about
and
that.
Then you can go.
Yeah, they were just asking about how you make sure the solution doesn't kind of get smeared or anything, but when you glaze. So I guess it's just a matter of waiting enough time for it to dry.
Yeah, just make sure the tan's pretty dry, and the glazing really doesn't harm the spray tan. If you glaze too much, you'll lighten it up. But if you just glaze with the right amount, it doesn't harm the spray tan. It actually blends in really, really good with the tan. And if there's like any little splotches, blend in as well.
Gotcha. Do you use barrier cream when you're spraying for competition?
No, I do not use barrier cream for my competitions because everything has to be black. You can use barrier cream on the fingernails and the toenails. You can do that. But I don't do that because what I do is I have wet wipes. So every competitor that I tan for competition shows, I give them a wet wipe so they can go ahead and wipe off their fingernails and their toenails and the inside of their hands.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. Somebody was asking particularly about touch-up. So like, for instance, you're talking about if they sleep in a handprint or something, or if water drips, how do you handle those? I mean, if it's like small enough, can you use like a Q-tip to fill it in, or, how do you handle those different touch-ups?
Well, I've had competitors come to me and do that. One girl actually did that. She, even though I told her no skin on skin contact, don't wear shorts to bed, she wore shorts to bed. She had splotches on her leg. I couldn't fix them, but I mean, not completely. What I did was I went over it a little on the heavy side, and I try to blend it in as much as possible. But sometimes, like I said, sometimes competitors aren't going to listen to you, even though you give them precise instructions. Do your best to try to fix it. And if you can't, let the competitor know. Just, and they'll understand, They understand it's not your fault that they got a little splotch here and there. Same thing with watermarks. One girl, she actually, I don't know why, but I tanned her on a Friday, and for some reason she decided that she wanted to clean her house, and she was cleaning the boys' bathroom, and she was using bleach, and the bleach, well, splashed on her spray tan. So, as you know, bleaches off a tan. In that case, what I did was I was able to just go over it and blend it in on Saturday because she rinsed it off. I told her, you have bleach on. She said, I have bleach on me. She called me up panicking. And I said, okay, right now, it's been quite a long time since you had your tan on, so go ahead and just rinse it off now. And then I'll go ahead and tan you again tomorrow on Saturday. And I'll see what's going on, and I'll blend it in. And so I was able to do that. I was totally able to do that.
Okay.
And her tan was pretty good.
Okay, so you kind of have to, I mean, it sounds like it's pretty similar to regular tans in that, you're going to try to touch it up as best you can, depending on the situation. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Depends on situations. You're going to get all kinds of situations.
Sure. Do you, speaking of the barrier cream and kind of the prep stuff, do you use pH balancer for competition tans?
I don't, but I do carry it with me because I do carry pH balance with me because there was one time where I had a competitor come to me and she says, okay, I'm just warning you, no matter what tanning solution I use, I turn green. Okay. And so luckily I had pH balance, and I sprayed her with the pH balance, and then I tanned over her. She didn't turn green, but I carry it just in case I have somebody come to me and say that.
Okay.
But so far I've never had anybody turn green on my competition tans.
Okay. Very good. Somebody actually just asked that. Spray Tan Studio is asking if you've ever had a competition tan fail.
No, thank God. Never.
That's good. Somebody was asking about the let's see, where did it go here? Oh yeah, from start to finish, how long does it take you to spray a competitor, one competitor? You said about
Six
six. Go ahead.
6 minutes.
Okay. So you have it down pat.
Yes, do not do a tan in 2 minutes. Reason why I say that is because, well, a promoter that hired me for a show, he said the last tanner sprayed competitors in, like, he said it was about 2 to 3 minutes. She tanned them, and the tans were very light. They did not look he said they did not look good on the competitors, did not look good on stage because they looked like they didn't even have a tan. That's how bright the stage lighting got them, made them
Wow.
really light. And so you definitely want to be thorough, take your time, but try to make it in 6 minutes, 8 minutes tops.
Okay, perfect. Somebody has to leave. Yeah, thanks for joining Spray Tan Studio. Sorry, I never saw whose name that was, but they've asked a lot of questions. So they said they appreciate it, and this was awesome.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, definitely. I have some couple more questions here.
Sure.
One regarding tattoos. So do you spray over tattoos normal for competition, or do you cover them? And if you do cover them, what do you use to cover them?
I spray over tattoos. A lot of times when a person has a lot of tattoos, what it does is hides their muscle definition. And so having a lot of tattoos on their back, or wherever they have really good muscle definition, tattoos can actually dock them in points. But you can suggest to cover their tattoos, and if you do that, charge a little for that one. If you want to charge like $20 tattoo cover up, go for it. Depending on how many tattoos they have, of course.
Sure.
But for covering up tattoos, use Dermablend Body Fix Concealer. That one's really good for covering up tattoos.
Okay. Perfect. I'm going to make while we're doing this, I'm going to make a little list for things so we don't forget to send out these links to things so people can purchase these items.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Dermablend works really well.
All right. I'll send out the links, everybody, to the glaze, the tattoo cover up that she mentioned, the Derma Blend, the roller that she mentioned from Home Depot, the Power Comp solution, obviously, if people want to do that as well. So we're coming up on, we're just past an hour, so I don't want to keep anybody too much longer. If anybody has any other questions, you can go ahead and send them. Taryn, I guess the one thing that I guess we probably should have started with, I might have answered a lot of the questions. If you want to go through your process for competition from start, I guess from a Friday, which is start for you, to finish with one competitor, like what does that look like? I mean, we've kind of bounced around all those different things, but if you want to tell us like from start to finish, how that from, prep to glaze when they go on the stage, what's that process look like for you?
The process for me is, so if one competitor comes to me and says, I need a competition tan, by text or email, I ask them, what category are you doing and what show are you doing? So they'll tell me. And then I ask them if they need one tan or two tans. Many say two tans. So I give them the pre-tan prep instructions. What I tell them is, to on Monday, the week of their show, to exfoliate their entire skin from head to toe. Exfoliate their entire skin using a loofah or a loofah mitt and a nice body wash. After they exfoliate, they go ahead and moisturize with Aveeno's good, or a natural lotion is good too as well. They moisturize afterwards. And so they do that every day up until Friday. Now, on Thursday, they should shave or wax any unwanted hair. You never want to shave or wax on the day of a tan because, as you know, your skin's irritated, your pores are open, and it could affect the tan. Now, so they do that process, and then on Friday, they do it again. Exfoliate their skin, completely rinse off thoroughly. They have to make sure they rinse off thoroughly, but on Friday, do not wear any makeup, any deodorant, any lotions, perfume, cologne. And then they come see me for their spray tan. So I always tell them, bring loose clothing to wear. No tank tops, nothing with no leggings. I've seen that one before. No jeans. Seen that one before too. Seen jeans shorts. People it's like no. Like I say, you could give them precise instructions, and some won't follow it.
Sure.
But I tell them, bring loose clothing, and then I also give them, after their spray tan, they're going to go ahead and sleep in loose clothing to bed. Long loose pants and a t-shirt top, long sleeve, short sleeve, or button up. They can sleep with that in bed. And then on Saturday, they're going to go ahead and rinse off their tan, rinse off thoroughly. They can use their hand to help the bronzers come off. And then, of course, they don't moisturize. No, on Saturday, women can wear makeup because, we're not going to tan their face. Men, don't wear any lotion, perfumes, or anything. And then we tan them again.
Okay. And then the glaze, obviously, after they dry before they go on stage.
Yes, and then we give them instructions. We're going to provide bikini bite for the women that need. Sometimes men need it too. But we provide the bikini bite to glue on their suits to prevent the bottoms from moving. We provide the glazing as well. And so we give them a time, when we'll go ahead and do that. So I tell, competitors, right before you go on stage, about 30 minutes to an hour before you go on stage, if you need any touch-ups, glazing, anything, come to us and we'll go ahead and fix you up.
Okay. Very good. Taryn, thank you so much for sharing all this information, the process and everything. Like I said, everybody that's here, we're going to send out the link to the recorded webinar in case you want to go back and look at some things. We'll obviously put Taryn's contact information in case you have questions. She has the products that she offers. She also does the training for competition tanning. And then we'll also link to all the resources. We talked about the glaze, the rollers, tattoo cover-up, thing like that to make sure that you can be prepared. And if you have any other questions, obviously Taryn is always there to answer, so make sure to reach out to her. Taryn, thanks for joining us on Sunday. I know you're exhausted from the past couple of days, so thank you for your time today.
I'm used to it. This is the life of a spray tanner for competition shows.
Well,
get used to it,
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us on Sunday for this great webinar here with Taryn. From Paradise Airbrush Tanning and with her Power Comp solution. If you have any questions, like I said, we'll send out an email, reach out to Taryn on Facebook or via email or through her website. And we'll look forward to talking to everybody soon.
All right, guys. Thank you. And also, is there anybody out there that lives in the Houston area of Texas and wants to get into the competition world? If they do, message me on Facebook.
Yeah,
I will be tanning in Houston in September.
Okay, I'll put that also in the follow-up email to see if anybody's in the Houston area, so we can get them in touch with you to make sure that they can get on board and with you in Houston.
Perfect.
All right, thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and take care. Thanks again, Taryn. Have a wonderful day.
All right. Thank you, Grant. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.